Hello and welcome to Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And we are a merry and whimsical board gaming podcast where we dive deep into games with curious minds and a jester's grin. We feature 10 by 10 challenges where each season we commit to playing 10 games at least 10 times and sometimes more. Today we'll be discussing our resummoning of Dominion with some expansions, our recent plays of Bus and Labyrinth, and whether Ginkgopolis will move on to face the trials of Jester's Gambit.
Yes.
So first, Dave, I do not have a query of the court.
What?
But I'm introducing a different segment to you.
This is news to me, so I'm super curious.
Oh, I know
excited.
it's news to you.
A little nervous, but that's okay.
No. I had to get
an
you.
adventure with you.
Good. I had to do something for you because in the beginning of this season, you got me with the queen stuff where you're just like, the queen says yes or something, and you're like, huzzah!
Yes, long live the jester queen.
Yes, that's what it was, and it made me laugh so hard.
You are the jester queen.
I tried. But it made me laugh so hard that I thought that I would return the jester favor by giving you something to giggle about, because this is something that we laugh about quite often, and I thought that we should implement it anytime we do not have a query for the court. We'll be doing the Alchemist Pantry.
What on earth is going on right now?
So let me tell you, David. Okay, so the Alchemist Pantry is where I discuss an interesting food item that I shared with you that comes from my mind, hence Alchemist, and then Pantry, you know? This is like when we were in the previous apartment when I just threw stuff together and I was like, eat it.
I was surprised. I was like, should we go to the store? You know, there's not much in the pantry. And you were like, oh, just wait, I can make something. What was it, like cornflakes? There was malt vinegar and then something.
I made
something, a couple eggs. And you're like, wait a second.
I made crab patties.
That's what it was. And it was so good. And you, with rice too, right? Was that, or I'm thinking of something different.
I put it over rice.
Over rice. I was like, honestly, this is one of the best dishes I've ever had in my life.
You're like,
and it came from random stuff in the cabinet. Didn't think it was possible because I'm not a culinary mastermind.
It's okay.
So myself, in terms of my cooking abilities, is somewhat limited. But yours are expansive.
Well, I just feel it. I feel the food. That's what I do.
You don't follow any recipe. You can never duplicate a recipe from what I found out. It just is.
Okay, guys. I could sometimes get pretty close. Okay.
It's so good.
But yeah, so I thought that I would do that with you. And one of the quirky items that I showed you recently is, I mean, this isn't something that I had made, but it's just kind of a sweet treat that I like. And you ended up liking it. You're going to be like, wait, let's not say my point of view just in case it's really off the wall. But the sweet treat was Ritz crackers and Pillsbury frosting.
Oh.
I love dipping Ritz crackers into Pillsbury frosting.
It was really good.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It hits
unexpected,
different. Yes. It's a 10 out of 10. Would eat again.
I'm a big fan of contrast when it comes to flavors, and it's like the saltiness of the cracker mixed with the sweetness of the frosting. It blends together really well.
Mm-hmm.
So good on you for introducing me to something that was a little bit outside of my norm, but that's okay.
I just thought this would be fun, because there was that one time when I had put pickles on a pizza and you liked that.
I did. I did. Yeah, the what kind of pickles were those?
They were the sweet and spicy.
Sweet and spicy pickles, yes.
Yep. And then I forgot what kind of seasoning on it. See, I can't replicate, but that's what I made just because that's what I was craving. And then I do a whole bunch of things like that.
Oh, you know what was really good that you made is when we had those Uncrustables.
Oh,
PB&J,
yes!
And you, did this caramelized, you put it on the stovetop. Well, you can explain it.
That?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that I can duplicate. So, way back in the day when I first had Mr. Lulu Beans over there, not that that's relevant to the story, but...
It's always relevant.
Yeah, you need to always know Lupin's here. But I was scared of having the oven on, right? Because he was so little. I didn't want him to go buy it, and I didn't want to tell him no because he's my baby. So I was like, oh, I'll just buy Uncrustables, won't have to make anything. And then I kind of needed something more, you know? I was trying to figure out how to turn Uncrustables into like a 5-course meal. Okay, you could take the jelly and like reduce it and then make it a really nice glaze on top of it. Anyways, but that's not it. So the dessert portion of the Uncrustables, I was like, okay, now how do I make dessert? And I was like, you know, coming from Wisconsin, love me some fried food. I thought, why not make it with cinnamon sugar and butter and then caramelize it? Because I'm a big creme brulee fan, you know? So that's what I did. I ate it. The inside was warm, ooey and gooey, and then the outside was crunchy. They're like, is this a food podcast now? Yeah. I'm like, you know what?
It can be both.
It can be both. But yeah, so that's how I came up with that. And then one day you said, wow me. And I said, I can wow you with very minimal ingredients. And then I wowed you with it.
It was really good.
It was so good. I love it.
I would go as far as saying life-changing, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, don't we have some Uncrustables? Why don't we
let's just whip that up.
Now I'm craving it. I'm sure that tastes so good
today.
with ice cream. Oh, yeah, that's true.
So we should minimize the amount of oven time.
Right, which means we should go out to eat.
Okay. Some kind of culinary adventure outside of the house. Right. Maybe some new food.
Maybe like Jollibee. Oh,
Jollibee. Okay.
Yeah,
I could be down for Jollibee.
2 different views there. Yeah, so that was what I have brought. Instead of Query of the Court, I brought you a recipe and or discussion from the Alchemist's Pantry.
Which was the Ritz with frosting. Yeah, definitely try it. Highly recommend. That would be maybe like you bring the Alchemist Pantry, but I give my review. I would give this a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
In terms of experience, going in with no expectations, and it exceeded my expectations by a lot. So
okay.
Next time you're at the store, pick up those 2 ingredients, and it may just change your life.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, we could do that. If I see that I don't have a query for the court, I could just make you a little Julie thing.
And, not too messy, too, if you have it at the table playing games. Although the crumbs might get over things, but be careful.
But you eat it in one bite.
Yeah.
Then you don't have crumb issues.
There you go.
There you go. Solve that problem for you. So let's get into Dominion.
In this week's Tales from the Table, we had a resummoning of Dominion. Mm-hmm. We brought it in with a couple of expansions, which Prosperity and Seaside. And these are expansions that anytime you look up, like, what expansion should I get for Dominion? These 2 are always at the top of the list of, like, start with Prosperity and Seaside are always a good place to jump in because there's like 1,000 expansions out there for Dominion. I don't know how many there actually are. Like, we have a pile ourselves that we're excited to try, but these 2 are, like, known for being kind of, like, the entry point into expanding the game. And so, based on what you recall about, maybe we could, I don't know how you want to talk about this, talk about Prosperity first, Seaside second, or just all together, what the experience is like.
I'm going to do all together just because I'm not sure which came from which.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can explain a little bit of what they add, and then you can...
Yeah, that works. Okay. Yeah, okay.
So, Prosperity adds a couple of things, one of which I would never not play without. So it adds in some higher value money cards. So I think it's platinum.
Yes.
So they are worth 5 to spend rather than 3. And I think they cost 9. And then there's colony cards that are worth 10 points rather than the 6 for the province.
I think it's...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it goes 1, 6, 3, 6, and then now 10. And so, or is it 8? Wow.
No, 8's how much it cost.
Okay, I'm getting it mixed up. But it is now the highest value. And I love that this adds that in. And then we can talk more about that in a little bit. But it gives you more money. And it gives you more points for, like, when you buy victory point cards, they're going to clog up your deck. So it might as well be worth more points. So even if you're not playing with the Prosperity expansion, I would always have this in there at that point in time.
Yes.
So it has that. And then it adds some really cool additional action cards. It adds some treasure cards that also let you do things. So in Dominion, if you're not super familiar, it's a deck building game, and you basically can do 1 action, then you can do 1 buy, and then you clean up your deck. But some action cards will let you get additional actions. But traditionally, when you get to the buy phase, you spend money or coins that you have from other cards, and then you buy something. But these cards allow you to do a little something extra, like the crystal ball lets you flip over
I love
cards.
The crystal
yeah,
ball.
And then you can either, I think, discard it or trash it or something like that.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. So it makes the buy phase a little bit more interesting. This expansion, I think, gives you a lot of ways to get additional money. So it makes you feel rich and prosperous as you play Dominion. I think that is pretty much everything that expansion adds. And then Seaside is an expansion that adds, really the focus of this expansion are these duration cards, which are orange, and they're action cards. I think there might be a treasure duration, I can't remember. But when you play a duration card, it gives you something right now, but you keep it in front of you until the next turn that it would activate or do something, which is usually the very next turn. So it might give you an extra card right now, but it stays in front of you. Now at the beginning of your next turn, you'll draw another card. It'll have something for now, and then it'll have something for like on your next turn, or the next time you buy a card, it'll say something on there. So you know when the next time is that it'll do that. And then it has a couple of mats. There's a village mat and then I think an island mat. The village mat, if you play with the villager card, or I can't remember what it's called, well, you store cards on there and then you can pull them back into your hand at a later point in the game. And then the island mat will be for a victory point card that is worth 2 points, which I love this card, by the way. But when you play that card as an action, it'll let you move it to the island mat along with a different card from your hand when you decide to play it. So it's a way to take cards out of your deck but not lose them from the game. So like those victory point cards, instead of trashing them, now you can put them over and store them on the mat. Now they're not clogging up your deck, but you'll still get the points at the end of the game.
That's what I like doing.
So that's the main thing from the expansion, the duration cards, and then a couple of other things. But we played a lot with all three. We played it at least 10 times with the three of them mixed together, the base game, Prosperity and Seaside. So now that we've played the base game a bunch, we've added some stuff in. What was it like resummoning Dominion, and what now is the experience like playing with these expansions?
I love Dominion. Okay. I just love how fast-paced it is. I love how... Is versatile the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, it's very versatile.
Versatile, and how every game feels different due to having to shuffle. So it's you can come up with a strategy, but you're still going to have to shuffle your deck.
Shuffle the deck, and then the different action cards are going to be different every game.
Right.
The cards that are available, which there's 10 each time.
Yeah, so I love how different all the games feel. Even when the witch comes out, or whatever witch.
Oh,
like
there's a sea witch, and
there's a Charlotte or whatever, and every time she comes out, like, you're not picking her.
The charlatan?
Yeah, the charlatan.
What does she do? So you get...
She gives you 3 coins, and she gives the other person a curse, and then she changes all curses to be worth a coin.
You can use them as a coin. Yeah.
So.
Which is a little bit of a plus and minus, but anytime there's an action card that gives me a curse, I never use those, but you always use them. So I'm like, okay, man, I'm going to be getting I'm just assuming I'm getting all those curse cards into my deck. So how do I build my strategy around that to remove those from my deck, or actually make it not such a bad thing?
You tried doing it. I think you gave me like 2 curses. But
I did once, but I'm like, oh, it's just such a waste of a turn to me. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. It just harms you a little bit. And I'd rather, like, kind of my go-to strategies for this game, and that's not one of them. But the cool thing about Dominion, like you said, there's variable setups. It's a very variable game. And my strategy typically is trash cards, keep my deck thin, get the best cards I can, and then build a strategy usually around 2 to 3 action cards that chain together. And anytime there's no cards out that let me trash something, and my deck starts building up and getting bigger and bigger, I can never do well in the game. So I have to find a way to try to change my playstyle based off of what's out there. And I love that about the game. And I think these expansions just add to the variability of the game, making each game feel even more different. And they're pretty easy. It doesn't add a lot of rules to the game, in my opinion. Yeah,
I don't think it adds a bunch of rules that you have to go over or anything like that.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about it, so what, it took like 77 games of Dominion for me to notice this.
77. Okay,
no, I think we played 78, but on the 77th I realized it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's your
what's my realization? Is that the reason that you win it so much is because you can really make your deck lean while I convolute my deck with a bunch of miscellaneous things that I don't need, right?
You collect, yeah.
Yeah, but then there's the cards that allow you to trash them. But now at this point, because it's part of my deck, it's like part of my home, right? So now they have some weird value to them that don't make any sense. And so I hoard them. And I'm like, oh, no, I might need this. I don't know if I don't know. I might have to rebuy something. Yeah. So then I keep it. So I noticed in the second to final game that we had played prior to this discussion is that I just need to let that go. I just need to let it go. It has no value. It's just a card. It's just a game. So I just need to let it go. And as soon as that happened, boom, won 2 games. Even though this was your game. I figured it out. And I was like, he'll never win again.
Well, yeah. Okay, Alex, we have played this game 78 times now.
So yeah, on the 77.
So this is like ultra deep, like this is beyond ultra deep dive. This is getting to the bottom of the ocean floor and now we're digging a trench. That's how far down we're going.
We're finding Megalodon.
Yeah, we're finding Megalodon and all of the potential alien civilizations at the bottom of the ocean, honestly.
I love how you're like, Megalodon, huh? You mean alien civilization.
Yeah, portals.
How about the
like
sirens?
For Nessie and all that. But yeah, no, it is funny. And we always talk about psychological uncoverings within a game, and I'm like, what does this say? What do you feel like this says about you?
We all know what it says about me, David.
You have a hard time getting rid of things, and that's okay.
I have a hard time getting rid of things of value.
That's true.
Like, I still have, you know what, never mind.
No, we can talk about it, it's fine. And I don't keep a lot of personal belongings. I get rid of things, and I think maybe that says something different about me.
Well, that's because you hold on to the place as opposed to the item itself.
I do.
So when you revisit a place, you feel a certain way, as opposed to an item you received to that place. But I made it easier, okay? We get pins now, instead of like...
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, instead of getting t-shirts and like stuffed animals, we get pins, and then we put it on our pin board so that...
So we can look at it and see all these experiences we've shared together.
Taking up space other than a place on a cork board that already took up space.
Which, no, I mean, that's awesome. I love looking at that cork board. Dominion is just so fun. Like, I love this game so much. And since playing it for our season 1 10x10 challenge, which we got through pretty quick, we continue to come back to the game. We've played it so many times. And it's nice. We play like all of these different games for 10x10 challenges, and sometimes I just love after we wrap up a big heavy game, getting out Dominion, throwing it down on the table. We can get through a round. Usually I think our average is 20 to 25 minutes, and then throw out some random action cards, play a new game, and do it again. And we can play 2 to 3 rounds. It's not a game I necessarily want to play like 30 times back to back, but from time to time coming back to it, I'm just reminded at the fact that it's such a clean, simple design that works. And there's so much expandable content that can be thrown in. I'm excited to try some of these other expansions that we have laying around.
Yeah, me too.
To see how it mixes up the game. Because each one seems to add something different to it to change up the experience. So
I like how most of them have a witch, though, in some type of way.
Yeah.
Whether that's like a sea
you always find a
witch.
witch. Oh, and then can we talk about the monkey? I love the monkey card.
Oh my god.
The monkey card was my favorite.
The monkey card was my hey.
Yeah. So the monkey card, I don't have it in front of me, but it lets you draw a card anytime. So it's a duration card. So you play it, and then anytime your opponent or opponents gain a card, you get to draw a card from your deck. So it adds to your hand. And then at the start of your next turn, you'll also draw a card. So you can end up with like all these cards in your turn. And just, I don't know why, it just feels like a monkey. I feel like you're gathering.
I know, it's like a little capuchin monkey.
Yeah.
You're like, why are you so specific? I'm like, because they're so mischievous. They're always just grabbing at things. That's why I call Lupin a little capuchin sometimes. I'm just like, you're being a little capuchin.
Yeah. I love that. The monkey card was one of my favorites. And then I also love the island card where you can play the card that goes to the mat and also takes a card with it if you want to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just like the ones that bother you. That's all I like. Like the one that's like, oh, you get gold, but your opponent must get rid of something if drawn.
Oh, yeah, there was a card where it made you trash either silver or gold. So I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to upgrade everything to a platinum, and then you actually managed to help me by trashing the silver and gold, so it would make my deck only full of platinums.
But then you showed your hand and was all like, thank you, so then I stopped.
That's true.
You just need to sit
I just
quietly.
need to stop talking. Stop telling you, because you're pretty good at not giving away your strategies until it's too late.
I know, it's my
I'm too early. I get excited. Then I want to share. What does that say about me? I don't know.
It means that you're expressive.
I am. Yeah, I like to share my excitement with you.
Right, and I don't share excitement. I keep it a secret until it comes out because I'm more secretive.
Mysterious, I would say.
Yeah, mysterious. Yeah, secretive's not the correct term. I'm more mysterious. I like to have the excitement when the excitement should be announced. Like,
yeah, where I get excited. I go from 0 to 100. I get excited.
I know, you get the news right away and you're like, yes. And I'm all like, no, settle down.
But that was awesome. Thank you for playing Dominion with me. And then we had a couple of, we'll call them newcomers to the court. They're not our court. Well, one of them is our court, but another one was a game that wasn't ours that somebody showed us.
Yeah.
But we went to a board game meetup in the local area and met a couple of friends there.
Which, by the way, we met Reggie. Reggie showed up to the board game. So Reggie's somebody whom we met on Instagram, who also submitted a query for the court. And then lives around us. So we had stated like, hey, we're going here. He showed up. And he was like, Dice Jesters? Yeah. And we're like, hey. That was so cool.
We should have gotten a picture.
I know.
We forgot.
I should have been like, hey, the first ever person that we met in person from Instagram.
That was amazing. It was so cool.
So here's your huzzah, Reggie. Huzzah.
Yeah, really cool to meet Reggie. And then, so I brought a couple of games. We met a couple of friends there. And I brought Power Grid and Bus, but we didn't play Power Grid this time around, but we did play Bus.
We did.
And this is a game I was really excited for you to try, because this is designed by Splotter Spellen, and they make these games that are known for being heavily strategic but also punishing, where there's like almost no luck in the game and you can easily do the wrong thing and just almost eliminate yourself from the game. Like, you have no chance.
That's what you did, yeah.
They're very punishing. They're known for being games that you can lose from turn one if you make the wrong choice. And I actually saw when we were setting it up, one of the players play something. I was like, you may want to, think about doing something different or place it somewhere else because of like these reasons. So I think if you're learning a game by them, if you have a good teacher who will kind of guide you on your first couple of turns, that usually helps. But Bus is a game that is on probably the lighter end of the spectrum of games that they've designed. They've made Bus, they've made Antiquity, Roads and Boats, Food Chain Magnate,
Roads and Boats,
Indonesia, a bunch of games. And they're notoriously hard to find. They go out of print. Bus is still in print. You can find it online, made by Capstone Games. It's like a redesigned edition from their original that was made in the 1990s. And would you like to take a stab at explaining the game, or would you like me to?
Yeah, so in this game, there is depending on how you're looking at the board, if you're looking on the board in a readable way, on the right side are the actions of what you get to do. So everybody places the action that they're deciding to commit to for that round. And then once everybody has passed, you go down the actions. So one is laying basically route lines, like where you want your bus to go. The next one is giving yourself another bus, which that's the whole action, and only one person per round can do that. The one following that one is passengers. So you could put passengers on the map, and there's only 15 passengers per game.
Yeah.
And following passengers, you can lay down either a home, a business, and or the pub. Everybody thought it was funny to give me the pub, because I'm from Wisconsin, I guess. It was just a fun joke. Just like, So then after that was the Time Lord, which we made Doctor Who references.
Yeah.
Following the Time Lord is your points, basically.
Yeah, vroom action.
The vroom, literally, there was multiple O's. The vroom action, where you got to send your individuals to wherever they were trying to go, designated by the little spinning dial item in the Time Lord section. And finally, if you wanted to surpass the person in front of you, to the side of you, or whatever, to be first player, you could choose to put your cylinder piece on the first player spot.
Yes, and there's only 20 action markers that you have in the game, and that's it for the whole game. It's not like a standard worker placement game. And by the way, I've heard that this is the first worker placement game ever made. I'm not sure if that's true, but like now there's a lot of worker placement games that come out, but this was kind of like the OG worker placement game. But once you're out of workers. That's it for the game, because each round they clear from the board and don't go back to your supply. So you kind of have to use them wisely and pay attention to how fast other people are putting theirs out, because the game ends once there's only one person left with action markers, so you don't want to be left with a bunch of unused actions, but you also don't want to be the first and then be out of the game while other people are continuing to play. So what was your experience like learning this game, and how did it compare to other games that we've played? We played a 4-player game of it too.
Yeah, I would say that it's interesting. This experience was interesting because usually I do like 2-player games, but watching and observing how this game's done, I think it was best to play at more players due to me not wanting to put down businesses, because it had the whole 1, 2, 3, 4. You had to fill 1, had to fill 2, had to fill. That's how I ended up.
On the board, yeah.
So instead of me laying down businesses, everybody else was laying down businesses. So that's how I kept so many cylinders and got to do everything I wanted to do, was because I got to surpass certain steps since I saw a majority of the individuals going and doing the steps I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I saved my resources for point earning.
For the vroom action.
Yeah.
And I love that everything in this game is basically shared. Like, all the passengers are shared. They're not your passengers. They just go onto the board. But once they're on the board, they can be moved around by other people based on where they end up on the route. And then they have a route that connects there, so now they can move them to their spot. And then the buildings don't necessarily belong to you. You just happen to have a route on there. So if somebody connects to that same building place, they might use it for them.
Yeah.
So it's like this very interactive game with almost no luck, but I think different ways that you can play it too, like you were describing, letting other people fill in the board. There's also the Time Lord spot that you mentioned, where when we get to that point in the round, the clock moves forward, and that's where all the passengers are going to want to go. But you can remove a time stone and keep it where it's at. Yeah. Like, we're just going to halt time. And now everybody who thought they built this whole strategy around moving passengers to a particular building, now all those passengers are actually going to stay where they're currently at and move back onto the building if they're there, or move to, if there's a passenger that's available, we'll move to that one rather than the one that everybody thought. So it's pretty easy to learn from my perspective, and pretty easy to teach as well. The turns are what you can do on your turn is pretty intuitive, but it's pretty competitive. There's opportunities to really cause others anguish if you really wanted to. Like, you could try to do your own thing in one corner, but somebody's going to come around and take everything that you're trying to do. Just the map is only so big, you know?
Hey, I was doing my own thing in my corner, so because usually when someone comes into my land, I'm like, okay, I was minding my business. Why?
But you did really well. You won the game by a couple points because I mistakenly used all of my action tokens.
Mistakenly. No, you knew how many action tokens you had. You decided to take the bus. It was supposed to be my turn next, and then you're like, psych. Yeah, that was on you. You decided to get selfish. You could have had that one extra token, but you decided to be first. Well, you just waited your turn.
I made the mistake, and I'll never make the mistake again. So that's what Splotter games are all about, is you only make a mistake once, and then the next time you play, you know not to do that. So, but that's okay. I think that this is a masterpiece of board game design because it's so clean, but also there's so much within a pretty simple game. I would put this at the top of my list of games that play with more than 2 players because it's only a 3 to 5 player game. And I'm really happy to have this in my collection for those circumstances.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm willing to play it again. I genuinely believe I'd want it at more players. So definitely a multiplayer game for that one. Definitely
Absolutely.
3+.
And then after Bus, we played a much lighter game.
Yes.
Which was Labyrinth.
Yes, there's a Pokemon version of it.
There's a whole bunch of different versions.
Okay, I'm into the Pokemon one.
That's fine. But we played the standard version.
We did.
Which is, if you've never played Labyrinth before, it's kind of, I don't know what year it was made, but it looks like it has a classic, almost 80s type of game look to it. But it has this board. I don't know how big it actually is, but it's maybe 6 or 8x8 in terms of tiles on there.
I think it's 5x5.
Yeah,
maybe 6x6.
And you have a tile, and you're going to choose somewhere where you're going to place that tile. and that will shift everything in that row forward. And it's a giant, like, it looks like a maze is what it looks like. But things don't necessarily connect to each other because everything in the beginning is kind of jumbled up. But your goal is to collect certain items on the board by being able to move your piece into this labyrinth and pick things up. So you have one card, and once you've found that item by moving your piece to that place, then you'll discard it and then draw the next one. So your goal is to get like 6 items by the end of the game to win it. And that's pretty much all there is to the game. Pretty lightweight, but I found it fun just like looking at the board and trying to figure out how to move things in order to get to where I'm going. And there were a couple of points where I felt like cornered, but then somebody moved something in the right way and that opened it up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to move my piece. And it felt like just like a fun, lightweight family game. It exceeded my expectations.
I liked it. It reminded me of Rush Hour in 2nd grade.
Rush Hour?
I loved Rush Hour.
What's that?
What? No, you've played Rush Hour, Dave. I'm sure. Okay, so you have this
in real life. I mean, where we live, there's really terrible traffic all the time. So it's unfortunately reality even on Saturdays and Sundays.
No, so there's a red car and then a bunch of other pieces, and you try to get the red car out. I mean, I'm sure there's different variations of the game, but for the most part, this game that I know has a red car, and you try to get it out, but you have to move the other cars out of the way of the red car. And there's different cards in the game, so you set it up differently, and the puzzle gets a little harder. I don't know. Those puzzles really click in my head.
Yeah, you seem really good at spatial puzzles.
Is that what those are called?
Yeah, like, I mean, the polyomino type of games with puzzles, like Tetris.
Big words.
You're good at Tetris.
Okay.
Or when it comes to packing a vehicle or a moving truck, like you're going to get everything in there the exact way. To maximize space. My dad is like that too.
Dad and I get along.
I know. My dad will unpack and repack a moving truck 10 times just to get it perfect. I'm like, we don't even need all the space. It's the premise of things not being placed efficiently.
Yes.
Wasted space.
Yes. This is why I like to bag our groceries, because I'm just like, Dave, we could have done one bag. What are we doing?
We learned about my psychological capabilities for spatial reasoning with A Feast for Odin.
I know, and I was even trying to generally help you, and you're like, I couldn't tell.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this one, and I would gladly play it again.
Yeah, I want it. I want it to have...
You want to acquire it for the Jester's shelf.
Yeah, it could be like maybe on a Jester in the Making shelf, perhaps.
What's the Jester in the Baking shelf?
Yes.
Oh, like the Jester's Apprentice.
Yeah, like maybe like family games.
Okay, we need
for like little Jesters. Yeah. Like maybe we'll teach Lulu how to play.
We need like a Jester's Apprentice shelf with like those kinds of games.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. But thank you for playing those games with me. And we did have a big question to answer. We've played our initial plays of Ginkgopolis. Yes. And based off of our initial plays, would you say that Ginkgopolis will move on to face the trials of the Jester's Gambit, or be cast aside at the Fool's Crossing, never to return?
I think it'll make it to the Jester's Gambit.
You think it will, or
I think we shall.
We shall.
We shall joust it. I don't know. Yes, we shall.
Let the gambit begin.
Yeah.
And if you're really confused right now, what we're talking about is, in this season, I've decided that we'll trial a game for a few plays before committing it to a 10x10 challenge to avoid a situation where we aren't enjoying the game as much and want a way out. This is our out. But so we played Ginkgopolis a few times. We're deciding that now we will play it at least 10 times, and we'll talk about it in a feature episode where you'll hear our initial impression before playing the game with everything on the table, what our experience was like playing the game for the first time and learning the rules, and then what our experience was like playing the game at least 10 total times, and that whole journey. So
yes. So we're both excited for that. If you would like to join us in that, be sure to look for the episode, just due to we're not 100% sure if it's going to be 2 episodes from now, 3 episodes,
no clue.
1 episode.
It could be next week. Who knows?
Right. It just kind of depends on how, I don't want to say fast, but it just depends on when we decide that we've explored it.
And sometimes life gets busy. You know, we don't have time to play a game 1,000 times a day all the time.
All the time.
So who knows? But when that does happen, you'll know. And we hope that you enjoy it too.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to us this week. Be sure to join us next week. And if you'd like to listen to episodes early, you can do that through our Patreon. On our Patreon, we also have Dave's takes on items as well as behind-the-scene things of Lupin, whether that's little adventures or just cute little photos of him because I love him.
We all do.
And if you like these like little ending things where I just jamble away, I have a Julie Jambles on our Patreon as well, where I just kind of start talking, and where it leads, nobody knows. Does it stop? Maybe so. So that can also be found on our Patreon. Otherwise, we are on Instagram under thedicejesters. If you would like to send in a query for the court, you can do it either through Instagram or our email. Our email does start with the, so it is thedicejesters@gmail.com. If you don't have a query for the court, but maybe you want to add to the Alchemist Pantry, feel free to give us your special recipe that you may find odd that you want to share with others. You can, you could be in it as anonymous. That's chill. You could,
I don't want anybody to know that it was me who said that you should eat this.
Right. So, that's fine. If you want to proclaim it to the people that listen to this, you could proclaim it and let us say your name, whatever you want. I don't care. I'm an introvert, so there's that. Yeah. But be sure to join us next week. And as always, play games with the ones you love.